Hello, everybody.
Hey, Gallivan.
How are you guys doing this evening?
Doing good.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back, Paul.
Thank you. Good to be back.
The hamsters appear to be doing their job.
I gave them lots of speed and some other very nice snacks, so they better. About 20 minutes before the game started, I lost the internet, and I was literally had my head in my hands. Like, I swear to God, if this drags on past the time limit starts, I'm gonna think I'm cursed or something.
It's just not meant to be. It's just not meant to be.
Luckily, it was.
But I'm glad. I'm glad that it cooperated and allowed you in.
Me too.
I have. Thank you guys. I saw this afternoon that all of you had joined the game, and I believe I have assigned all of your characters to you in your journal, so you should see your PCs in your journal along with any animal companions, bags, and other things. I think there's one party loot bag of holding that's in there, and then James, you have your bag of holding and then your associated animal companions.
Yep, I see them, and I got them all set up.
Okay, good. Now, hopefully when we toss them out the first time, when you pull your characters out for the first time, hopefully you'll be able to control them. And we won't have to go through setting them up again. But we might have to do that one time, but I don't think so, because I believe we've assigned tokens to those.
Looks like it's working.
Okay, good.
I can control my character too.
Good. Excellent. So, I'll go ahead and kill the music here. All right. Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome. We have reached 8:00 p.m. on a Thursday evening. I am DM Galabond. I am joined by our party. We have Paul back with Krenraid. We have James with Mulek. We have Michael with Faldor. And on the Discord, we also have Ken with Falazur as he gets logged into Roll20 in the next few minutes. To recap last time, you're probably noticing, if you are now on the stream, since I pulled it off of the pregame slate, you are noticing that we have a new name for our game tonight. Sword Coast Chronicles Part 3, The Underdark Beckons. Those of you who may have missed last week, like Paul, whose power didn't cooperate with our game schedule. We were in the Temple of Elemental Evil, more specifically the fire node of the temple, and they were getting chased through there. The party heroically tried to do battle against a bunch of cultists, against a bunch of hobgoblins, and then they ran into an Ifrit. And while most of the party just was about to give up, the intrepid bard, Falazur, said, "I've got an idea." And he cast suggestion on the Ifrit to make it attack all of the party's enemies that were in the temple. And the Ifrit failed its wisdom save. So the Ifrit is like, right.
Oh, wow.
Right. Off we go. Follow me. and it turned around and it grabbed the fire elemental that it had summoned, and the two of them headed off, starting to cause mayhem um, against the folks in the temple. So the party wisely decided, all right, this is our chance, let's run. And they ran, but unfortunately, Krenraid was not there to notice the ingenious dwarven traps. The traps that dropped 50-ton stone blocks in front of them and then behind them, and then started to fill the tunnel they were in with a gas that put them all to sleep. And when they woke up, they were not in the tunnel anymore. They were in the lab of a most peculiar wizard. A wizard who had, in fact, passed from life into undeath several hundred years before, and had once been a follower of Tyr, but was now a lich. And this wizard had gotten somehow, um, I guess, through loneliness. He's out there for hundreds of years all by himself in this old monastery, and these nice people come along, or just telling him they're nice people. Turns out they were earth cultists. And so he had about decided he was getting tired of them and was plotting to do violence to the earth cultists when the party showed up in the temple and gave him an opportunity to not only attack the earth cultists, but the air, the water, and the fire cultists as well. And then he brought the party back to his lair and talked to them for a little bit and said, it's a shame that I had to deal with the earth cultists by pulling down a mountain on top of this monastery. So there's really not any way out up. The only way out is down, and that's good for you because you can do me a favor. I've been seeing visions that match some of the dreams that my party members have had, but he also had seen visions of some great evil trying to claw its way up from the center of the earth. And he figured that means there's something wrong in the Underdark. So he's going to actually, he gave the party a choice. You can either go to the Underdark and figure out what's going on, or I'll simply kill you and then reanimate your corpses along with the rest of the cultists, and you can help continue work on the mausoleum I'm building for my brothers. And the party said, yeah, which way do we go? And so he gave them a map. He gave them a few minor magic items, a couple of potions, a couple of scrolls, some things like that, and sent them off. And that's where we left it. So tonight, we are getting towards the other end of that journey. You all have traveled a long, long, long way. In fact, you've traveled so long that you actually had to stop for a long rest in this deep tunnel that just is going down and down and down and down, following this map that Renwick gave you. And you eventually are coming to signs of civilization. You have noticed in the last couple of hours that the tunnels you are in are no longer strictly natural tunnels. They have now been expanded, and you can see on the ground where it looks like there's almost like roadways that have been marked out. So you're heading towards a town called Gracklstugh, and Gracklstugh is supposed to be a city that is primarily inhabited by Duergar, which are the dwarves of the Underdark. And it also deals with many of the other Underdark races, and they have trade deals with several civilizations on the surface. So the idea here is try to find out what's going on in Gracklstugh. When you do find out anything that might help you all, you can then probably locate a caravan that's headed to a surface city and travel back up to the surface with them, and then figure out where you want to go next. So this is, in fact, a way out of the Underdark, but as they say, the only way out is through. So you are now reaching the outskirts of the city of Gracklstugh. And Gracklstugh is, let me see, do we have a good map of the Underdark here in this? Yeah, it's a shame, but they don't have a map of the Underdark in this campaign. But where Gracklstugh is located is it's located along the shore of a vast underground lake called the Dark Lake. And Gracklstugh is the commercial, political, and spiritual center of the Duergar, and it is ruled by a figure known as the Deep King. It is also known as the City of Blades because there are fine weaponsmiths there in Gracklstugh, and the city has forges that work around the clock. And in fact, the after you notice the roads, about half an hour later, you begin to hear something, and you guys stop and you listen, and you realize it's the rhythmic pounding of. At first, you can't tell whether it's machines or whatnot, but then as you get a little closer, you realize it's the rhythmic pounding of many hammers, sort of echoing through the caverns of the Underdark. And that sound gets louder as you get closer. And in fact, you then begin to see some travelers on this road. And there are some that look like dwarves, and some that look like elves, and some that look like humans, and some that look like half orcs, and and then there's also decidedly some travelers that look very peculiar to all of you. There are some gnomes and dwarves that have odd colored skin. And then there are a couple of what you think might be elves, deep cowled hoods and gloves on their hands, so you can't see the color of their skin. But as one of them goes by, you do see sort of a shock of platinum white hair peeking out from under a hood. And as you get closer to the city, you consult the little map that that Renwick gave you, and you realize that you are headed for the gate that leads to the merchant district, which is called the Dark Lake District. And there's a great dock along the edge of this dark lake. And as you look out onto the lake, you can see the city is illuminated by the glow in some places of forges and the biggest concentration of the hammer sounds that you hear comes from one part of the city, and that whole city or that whole part just seems to radiate kind of with a red glow, where all the forges would be. And there's sort of waves of heat coming down from that part of the city, in sharp contrast to the very sort of cool air that seems to come up off of the lake. And of course, because you have that heat and you have that cold, the rising of the heat tends to create a bit of a pattern of wind. So there's kind of a chill wind that blows into the city off of the lake as the hot air from the forges rises up towards the top of the cavern, and then probably somewhere, somehow, some way, sneaks through cracks and works its way up towards the um, higher in the underground surface, or maybe all the way towards the surface. And you guys have no idea how deep you are underground here. You might be a mile underground, you might be 10 miles underground, you might be 100 miles underground. It's just, it's really hard to tell. So when you get to the gates, you see that the gates to the city are open, and there are guards at the gates, but the guards are not, they're not checking people's papers. They're not making anything. It's just like they kind of take note of people coming in and going out, and seems like as long as you're not causing trouble, they don't see any reason to bother you. And as you get to the Gracklstugh, or as you get to the Dark Lake District, you come to a place that is known as the Dark Lake District. There we go, Dark Lake District. All right. Dark Lake District gives an illusion of openness. The streets are relatively wide to allow for merchant carts and wagons to pass, and the buildings aren't as crowded around the stalagmites as in other parts of the city. And openness doesn't mean welcoming, however. Duergar who ply their trades here are wary of all foreigners confined by law to this part of the city. So the waves of heat that you feel, and you also notice the acrid tang of acrid scent of smog in the air, and the breeze from the Dark Lake comes in from would be basically the north. You're sort of headed west along this dock area. There's a jumble of buildings and streets reflecting the lights of countless fires burning across the city within hollowed out columns and stalagmites. Though the streets are broad, there's a fair amount of traffic. You can move easily within the groups of buyers, merchants, and you also notice people here who are wearing iron collars around their necks, and some of them have iron collars around their ankles with chains stretched between them. The chains are long enough to allow them to walk, but probably not so long that they would be able to run. You realize that in addition to the strange gray-skinned colored dwarves that seem to be the dominant people here, you spy dark elves. You see some gnomes that also have kind of a grayish skin tone. You see orcs and half-orcs, and you see other humans that are part of the crowds. there don't appear to be many other surface dwarves here. And Kren, guess it's a good time to ask you, what would Kren think of, or what has Kren heard about the Duergar, the dwarves of the Underdark?
As a proper mountain dwarf, I have mixed feelings about the Drugar and their existence at all. Probably not good would be the baseline, purely from the constant skirmishes to the betrayal of my kin, but it's not going to be pleasant.
Okay. All right. The most of the native Duergar that you guys see here do appear to be merchants. And the merchants kind of take notice of people passing, and they might call out their wares, but they don't go out of their way. You know, nobody tries to pull you over to their merchant carts, and nobody gives much of a second glance at you all. They look and see the humans, and what they take is maybe elf or half elf. They notice the lone dwarf there, but they seem to kind of just shrug that off. It's like, okay. They may not have a great opinion of surface dwarves, but they don't make a fuss about it, especially if that surface dwarf might become a valued customer. Uh, they don't want to. They don't want to, let anything get in the way of commerce. You have been given the name of a tavern called the Shattered Spire, and that is a place that that you can find sorts of news in the city, and you also have heard, or you also hear people in the crowd talking about a place called the Gold Bronze Lair Inn. I have to put that in the Discord because I have no idea how badly I'm butchering that name. Gold Bronze Lair Inn. Bah, I can't say that. And that is an inn where non-Duergar can find lodging. So as you get here, you see a whole bunch of different groups of people. They're kind of engaged in buying and selling. There are different conversations among people going on, different knots of folks around. What would you guys like to try to do once you're here? Because, he gave you sort of vague instructions, find out what's going on, but, how you go about doing that is largely up to you.
He basically told us that something had escaped from the abyss, right? That's pretty much all we know.
He is worried about something, worried about some great evil loose in the Underdark that might be trying to get to the surface. So, if there in fact is a great evil other than just your normal drow activity, then that would probably occasion news and people would probably be gossiping about it. But how you would go about asking about that is largely up to you.
Sure.
Whether you would try to just overhear, or whether you would try to find somebody to apply for information, or what you'd want to do.
Can I just, because because I know Undercommon, and are they speaking Undercommon as well as Common while they're down here?
Well, they're mainly speaking dialects of Dwarvish and Common. I believe, I need to double check, but I believe Undercommon is actually something. It's not, I don't believe it's actually an Underdark language. Oh, no, okay, it is. Okay, it's a trade language spoken in the Underdark. Okay, yes. Yes, there would be a lot. There would be a lot of Undercommon here. Yes.
I just want to take a listen, just perk my ear up as we're walking through, and see if I notice them say anything about. Hey Jeff, did you hear about that going on over there? Or did you hear about this here? But just something that piques my interest.
Okay. Make me a perception check, and also you can tell me what is your
Nat 20.
Nat 20
with a +7.
Setting things right.
Damn right.
Wow.
I understand Undercommon as well, but I'm not going to roll.
Okay.
This guy's got it. Don't worry about it.
I got it handled, guys. I got it handled.
What is Falliger's passive, and what is Mulek's passive, and what is Krenraid's passive perception?
I only have a 16.
Mulek's 15 passive.
And Krenraid, what's your passive perception?
14.
Oh, 14. Okay, all right. If I look on my screen, I'll see it there.
That's pretty cool. Probably do that too.
Thaldor hears a very interesting conversation. He hears that the worm, what are we calling? What is his title? Okay, the Wormsmith. You hear that the Wormsmith and the Keepers of the Flame are at odds. And this is causing some people to fear that the forges may be in danger of going cold.
Oh.
I lean into to Mulek and Falliger because I think both of them know Elvish. No offense, Paul. I lean in and say, I relay that the conversation that's been told to me. Then I say, I think there's some shit going down here, guys, in Elvish, and it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, I say we keep our ears open and try to gather as much info as we can as we walk around and get near these folk.
Okay. Do you guys have any interest in doing any commerce, buying or selling?
I do.
Oh, okay.
So during that first battle in the temple, I had when we defeated those hobgoblins, I had thrown into my bag some of the hobgoblin shields, long swords, longbows, chainmail, one great sword, and one half plate. And I want to see if I can trade those with a merchant that I see dealing with those type of wares.
Okay. What languages do you have?
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
Oh, okay. Well, you can certainly do business with the local merchants with Dwarvish. So you find a person that has a stall where they are selling um, armor and shields, and they have a large assortment of both of those. And as you approach the stall, he's actually at a small anvil, and he's got a shield that is sort of dented, and he is hammering out the dents on that shield. So it looks like he not only sells, but he probably repairs items as well. And looking at his wares, some of the items he has clearly are new. Some of them look like they have been well used. And then there's another pile over there behind that anvil that are probably things that are waiting to be repaired. Um, so this is a guy that might be interested in some, you know, uh, secondhand merchandise.
Hey guys, you mind if I try to unload some of this this armor that I collected from that earlier battle?
I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna go see if I can, get a little bit of coin. I wink at Thaldor, because I know I owe him some money.
And I just look
Okay.
at him with a smirk on my face, and I just shake my head like, "Don't worry about it."
Okay.
What? So how long have we been traveling? Has it been like days, hours from when we left?
It's been at least a full day, because you had to take an extra long rest from the time you left the lab, or the wizard's lab.
And so is it like the next day? Is this early morning? Is this?
Yeah, what time is it, DM?
Okay. Looking up at the sky, you see the ceiling of a cavern.
Right.
So you estimate that it's been 4 or 5 hours since you've taken a long rest. So if your body is on keeping perfect time with the sunrise and sunset, then it would be maybe around noon. But do any of you have any kind of spells or anything that would let you know what time of day it is?
I've got keen mind. Let me know what time of day it is.
Thaldor,
okay.
he always knows what time it is and where we're going.
Okay, even if you're underground and can't see the sun. Okay, you would know it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. The date when you all went into the fire temple was the 7th of Flame Rule. You would know based on your conversation with Renwick, and then how long it's been since you left Renwick. You would know it's now the almost midday on the 9th of Flame Rule. So it's been a couple of days since the fight there in the temple.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I know one thing for certain, and that's that I owe you a bunch of drinks, and I've got this little tiny bag of coins with someone's name on it. And would you look where we are? We're in a tavern. So I'm going to go get us some drinks, and you do whatever you need to do. Meet back here. Drinks are on me.
Appreciate that, but dinner's on me.
And I don't drink, so water is good for me.
Water out of beer, got it.
So I will go up to that dwarvish blacksmith.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Mulik. I see you deal in shields and armor. I've got a bit of items. I have a few items I would like to sell to you. Would you be interested in purchasing some used but fairly good shape armor? And I start to pull out 4 shields and 4 chainmail. And then I've got this one. He doesn't do swords, right? And a half plate. These are all medium size. and I lay them before him and ask if he'd be interested in purchasing these items from me.
Well, let's see what you have here. The name's Malric.
Malric, nice to meet you.
Malric, good to meet you. And your skin is you are from the surface. What the giants call the dreamland. What brings you to real civilization? Finally got tired of all the chaos on the surface.
Yeah, well, me and my companions, we're adventurers, and we like to journey in different areas and seek out new people and new areas. In fact, we've heard that there's stories, rumors of some things that have been happening in the abyss that aren't normal. But we have just arrived, and that's I'm trying to gather information and just have a good time.
In the abyss? What the hell would I know about the abyss?
Well,
this is the Underdark, lad.
Something from the abyss. Sometimes things escape. Sometimes things that don't normally reside in the Underdark make their appearance. And have you heard of anything like that?
He balls his hand into a fist, and he puts his knuckles to his eyebrow, and he just rubs his eyebrow like he's trying to scratch at something. And then he looks up at I guess Thaldor is there with Mulek.
Yeah, I'm with Mulek.
He looks up at Thaldor and he says, "Does he always get drunk in the morning like this?"
And then I speak in Undercommon to him. I go, "Yeah, on occasion, but I try to keep him under control."
Yeah, well, tell him not to go spreading rumors like that, because people are here to do business. Rumors of things like that are bad for business.
I speak in Elvish to Mulek. I go, "Yeah, you might want to keep that on the down low, my friend."
Well, I figured someone dealing in armor would benefit from scary stories, and they might get more business because people will come and buy more armor.
Me and him are speaking in Elvish, and this dwarven guy, Dregohar's looking at us like, "What the hell are they speaking?" No, so I tell him, "Yeah, I get that, buddy, but the look and what he just told me in Undercommon, he thinks you're drunk, so you might want to lay off that for a little bit, and we'll try to get our information elsewhere." He's just a simple worker, my friend, and he makes fine wares, but I think we just need to take that elsewhere.
Well, my charisma is only 6. I can only do so much.
Well, Captain C is not with us right now, so let's do the best we can with what we got.
What? I mean, I'm in the bar, right?
We're not in the bar.
We're bartering.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, you probably went to the bar with Krenraid.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So we'll run over. We'll pivot over to you in a few minutes. So, anyway, this Malrig, he looks at he starts looking at the armor, and he looks at the shields. He says, "Oh, big folk. Are you fighting? What, bugbears, hobgoblins, something like that?"
Yeah, I think these were taken from some hobgoblins.
Yeah, and he lifts one up to his nose, and he, yeah, hobgoblins, all right. Oh, a stink alone. Whew. Okay, well, good. You rid the world of some hobgoblins. They were up there. Glad you killed them, because if you had run them off from up there, they might come down here causing trouble. So at least that's good on you. Okay, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at how many shields do you have?
I have four shields and one 4 chainmail and 1 half plate.
Okay. Let me take a Let me take a look at the handy dandy price list for equipment. And he is going to offer you, he is going to offer you 5 gold for each shield. And he'll offer you 37 gold for each chainmail. And then he will offer you, he looks at the half plate and he's, oh, wow, good work here.
This was from a goblin captain.
Yeah, I'll offer you 300 gold for the half plate.
Deal. And I push them all towards him.
Great. Wonderful. And so it's 300 for the half plate, and then what is 37 times 4?
I was going to calculate it and then put it in my thing.
Okay.
148.
148. So 148 and then 20. So 168 and 300. It's 468 gold that you have. Now, I have got to look at Thaldor's character sheet here.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm just looking to see. Do you have part of your sheet over in D&D Beyond as well?
I do. Part of it is.
Okay,
What do you need to see?
I just was looking at what features you have without. Just wanted to double check some things here. Because I wanted to know. I know you have the mastermind. But I don't.
And keen mind, yeah. Mastermind and keen mind.
Mastermind and keen mind.
I
Trying to see if I could get a better deal.
Trying to see if I can barter with him.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to see whether he would know, kind of have a.
I mean, because I know half plate's a lot more than 300, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm gonna say that I don't see the things that I was looking for here.
I mean, I could try. I mean, the worst he could tell us is no. But I mean, what I can do is I could speak to him in Undercommon and try to say, we I know the half plate's worth a little bit more than that. How about we bump it up to at least 375? I think that's a fair deal for the both of us in Undercommon.
Okay, if you want to do that, then make a persuasion check. That would be the way we would handle that.
Nope.
Yeah, he says, yeah, but you see here, lad, it's a little bit dented. I'm gonna have to do some work on it. So I mean, I'm sure it's fine. It's serviceable. It sounds like it's good, but I can't give you as much as I would because I've got to put about 50 gold worth of labor into it to get it to where I can sell it. So, appreciate your friend here. He's happy with it. After you buy him a drink or two, he won't know.
He still thinks Mulek's a drunk. I love it. Yeah. I look over at Mulek and I changed.
I'm
Alex
just smiling.
To Elvish. You're right. I changed Alex to Elvish. I said, I tried. It's not going to happen. He's not going to budge on the price. So
it's right. I wasn't expecting to do very well down here anyway, so I'll get what I can take.
You did pretty good though, man. I mean, that was a hell of a haul. You did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did give you about half book for everything else, and then he undercuts you a little bit on the half plate. But that was about it. All right. So
And
Guess
let's
do we
go
need to
ahead.
sell the swords too?
Yeah.
I mean,
So Malrig, do you have a recommendation of someone who deals in weaponry?
weaponry. Yes. In fact, if you go right down there, my my brother-in-law is named Dolgrim, and Dolgrim is the weaponsmith. Dolgrim is the weaponsmith in the family. He'll take a look at any weapons that you have and offer you a fair price. And he looks at Valdor, and he says Dolgrim is too honest for his own good. He tells you in Undercommon, Dolgrim is too honest for his own good. He really will offer him a fair price. And
I appreciate that. I tell him thank you, and what I do, even though he paid him all that money, I sit there and I said, you know what, you seem like a hardworking individual. Here's a gold piece for your troubles.
And so Malgrim gets it, and he looks at it, and he gives you a big toothy grin, and he said, "I knew that surface folk weren't as bad as they say they are. You gentlemen have a good day." And if you go into the what was the name of that place again? If you go into the oh crap, I just had it here.
Is it Galaborn's Lair Inn?
No, that's the crap. The tavern. What was the name of the tavern that I mentioned?
World Wars Lane Lair-in.
That's the
That's the place
inn.
to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place to sleep. The Shattered Spire Tavern.
Yeah, Shattered Spire. There it is.
I am going to go ahead and okay.
So I look at Mulek.
He says, Malrig says, if you go to the Shattered Spire, my wife tends bar there. Tell her that I sent you, and she'll give you a free round.
Oh, cool. I'll definitely take you up on that. Thanks.
All
and
right,
then I don't tell Krenreg when we get back, but I'll go up to the bar and act like I bought everybody around. Hey, I bought a round and just got them for free.
Okay, so you guys are getting ready to head to Dolgrim. While you're heading over to Dolgrim, let me switch back over to Krenraid and Falliger. So you guys have gone into the bar, and you the place it's getting close to midday, but the lunch crowd hasn't quite come in yet. So they're sort of getting open, and you see several dwarven servers that are scurrying about the place, and you see a bar, and there is a dwarven female behind the bar. She looks about middle age, but it's really shocking to Krenraid because the dwarven women here have no facial hair at all. It's you're not quite sure whether to feel embarrassed for her or whether that's just the way dwarves are down here. Another reason yet to sort of distrust them. You can't trust a woman without a proper beard. So you see her, and she looks up, and she sees you all come in, and she puts on a smile, and she says, Oh, welcome to the Shattered Spire. The name's Gwendora. Come, have a seat. How can I help you?
Well, I am in search of booze, and this seems like the perfect place to do it. So, my fine female friend, am I in the right place, or should I go somewhere else?
Oh, no. Master Traveler, you have come a long way. We don't often get many of our topside cousins here.
Be blunt with
If
me,
I'm-
lass.
Pardon?
Be blunt with me, lass.
Oh, well, you know, I keep telling my husband that the surface folk aren't as bad as what many of his friends try to tell him. But his friends, they all believe in, Durgar first. But I say we're all dwarves. We are all cut from the same rock, and we all tread on the same stone. Some of us just tread lower down than others, but we can't help where we are born. So, yes, my friend, my cousin, please have a seat, and your tall friend too can have a seat. Hello, how are you? She looks at Falliger.
I'm doing all right, little lady. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. And yes, to answer your first question, this is the right place for booze. We have spirits, we have wine, we have ale, we have beer. What is your preference?
Well, I have some other compatriots who are dealing with some other business in the city. My friend here has a slap Falliger on the back. This man and his compatriots got me out of a tight situation, let's call it that. And as such, I am indebted and owe them many, many fees.
Definitely got heated, I can tell you that.
Ah, well, then what is your pleasure, sir? And she asks Falliger. What would you like to drink?
Well, you got any good ale?
Oh, we have very fine ale, the best ale in all of Gracklstugh, if you believe our customers.
Well,
Sorry, cut out there for a second. My apologies. Go ahead.
I like my ale like I like my drow women. Dark and white-headed.
And she squints, and then her mouth just splits into this big huge grin, and then there's this sort of silent. She throws her head back, and then oh my goodness! Oh, sir, you have quite the wit. like my drow women dark with a white head. I'm gonna have to remember that. Yes, an ale for you. And I'm sorry, Master cousin. I think Paul, you might cut out a little bit. So what did you want to drink?
Sorry, yeah. I actually lost connection there for a second. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
So what I was going to say was, I was going to slam the bag of 10 gold on the table and say, a drink for every man and woman here to celebrate the liberation of my home, and especially the best of beers, or whatever this man wants for my friend here.
And she says, Oh, well, of course, of course. And as you look around, there's maybe a table off in the corner that has a couple of Duergar at it, and then off in another corner, there's a table that has 3 or 4 gnomes at it. But they're those strange grayskin gnomes, not proper gnomes like you guys are used to dealing with on the surface. And then there's a couple of people at another table that are kind of funny looking. They look a little bit like gnomes, but their skin is all wrinkly, and you can't tell how old they are. But if they were surface gnomes, you would think they would be absolutely ancient. But kind of the way they're moving around, they're not moving and gesturing like old people, like they're having a hard time moving. They seem pretty animated, but their skin is all really wrinkly, uh, and they just look very odd. You guys may not have ever seen it. You can roll me a nature check to see if you know what race they are.
It looks like a big disheveled baby.
Yeah, to Krenraid, that's exactly what it looks like. And to Falliger, yeah, you haven't heard of anything like this. Um, this is not something that gets into the tales that make it to the surface. So there's not many people here. So 10 gold is going to buy plenty of beer. And actually, the barkeep will say, I tell you what, love, 2 gold. That'll pay for a round for everybody here and a generous tip for the kitchen, and you can keep the rest.
Oh, no. The rest is going straight to my fantastic cousin, who for some reason looks mightily more attractive. Your husband's a lucky man. I was a bit distrusting when I walked in and you didn't have a beard. I was like, nah, there's no way that, my southern cousins could possibly be attractive. But I'm glad to see I was wrong. So
Yeah.
I will simply say that carrying on, cousin. Just keep doing it. Believe that there is more. We are all cut from the same stone.
I will
And
say, Miss, it's
Go
it's
ahead.
nice. You have white, creamy skin. Must be because you don't get much sunlight.
And she looks at you a bit odd, like clearly sunlight. It's something she's heard of, but she just has no idea, what that would be like. You get the impression this is somebody who's never been anywhere near the surface, and probably is the only thing she knows about the surface are the crazy rumors that they tell you in Duergar school. So but she puts then on a winning smile, and she smiles at Krenraid, and she sort of gives a little giggle and a blush, and she says, "Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. You're most kind. You're most kind. You see, I can tell my husband I was right. You surface folk are good folk." And she says, "Will you all be having lunch today?"
Is it?
This fine establishment is served by the most beautiful of waitresses. Absolutely.
Is this out of character? Is this lunchtime?
It's
Oh.
getting closer to lunchtime. So by the time they get done bartering and buying and selling and everything down in the plaza, the place will probably start filling up for lunch. So and so she says, "Oh, well, then you'll have to allow me to recommend lunch, and if you like it, it's on the house. And so she will recommend a fillet of something that she calls a fillet of there we go. Okay. Fillet of barrel stock. And she says it's grilled, seasoned, and suffused with or it's been suffused with dwarven stout, and before being cooked. And she says it's absolutely delicious.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, Faerun, but that sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, it don't sound too bad. Miss, you've been real kind. I have to admit, it's a bit surprising. I thought things would be a little bit more gruff around here. But you've been getting a lot of business lately, or has it been kind of slow?
Oh, well, it's business here in the tavern. We do a good business at lunch, and then we have a big crowd for dinner. Most of the, here in this quarter of the city, we deal with a lot of the merchants and, of course, a lot of the visitors, the foreigners that are not Duergar that come to the city to do business. And most of them are usually here in the evening because most of the cities are a good day's travel away. And while you may not realize it, um, everything here works on a cycle of what we call day and night. Just as I understand from the surface visitors, you all have light in the day and darkness at night, and most people are active during the day. Well, what we call our day, most people are active, and then at night everything gets a little quieter because most folk have to go home and get some sleep. So all of our travelers that are coming to the city usually arrive late in the afternoon or the evening, and they then depart in the morning. So we do a good business at night, but otherwise during the day we have our lunch rush, and then it's usually pretty quiet, which I like because it gives me a chance to get everything set up and ready for the dinner crowd.
Well, it's your lucky day, ma'am. I'm feeling quite generous. And since I haven't been down here in the Underdark very much, I think it's time people down here know who I am. They call me the far traveler bard. And my name's Faerun, and I'm going to make you famous.
Woo! Renwick slaps and claps.
Oh.
I want you to grab whoever you know, and I want you to spread the message that it's everyone gets free 2 silver and all they can drink tonight, right here at the Shattered Spire and Tavern, and they get a free show.
A free show? Oh, you're going to perform for us this evening. Oh, Master Faerun, that is wonderful. That is wonderful news. Well, I will have to tell my husband to come. He loves a good show, good music. Tell me, do you know any Duergar folk songs?
Well, I've only heard a couple, but I do have something that is kind of based on that, but with my own twist. But you'll have to wait till the show.
Oh, okay. Well, an exotic surface bard that will draw a crowd. We'll probably have a lot of folk that will want to hear what you have to offer tonight. Oh, that's wonderful, friend Falasher. And you, sir, and I don't know
Well?
if Kren has ever given his name
No,
yet or not. Okay.
he hasn't given it on purpose.
Okay. It says, and you, cousin, do you play an instrument as well?
The only instrument I play is a mallet, typically on an anvil, but sometimes on an enemy's skull. I'm afraid, love. It's not really. It's not really for me.
Well, then you and my husband would get along famously because he loves banging on his anvil as well.
I'm sure he does. If we wanted to spread word of my friend Falasher, the infamous bard, where would we go? Where do we go to if I want to make this known throughout the city? Who do we speak to?
Well, you got to pay the children, in my opinion. Just give them some gold, and they'll just run out and tell everybody. The trick is you tell them it's free drinks, but after their fourth drink, you make them pay for it, and that's how you start making a killing. Because they're too ticker-knackered to question you when you ask them to pay for the fourth one and up.
Okay, 4 drinks. Hold on, let me just get out my abacus. I'm gonna bust out an abacus and start trying to count to 4.
Okay, while Kren is trying to count to 4, let's go back to the weapon merchant. And the weapon merchant is going to be Dulgrim. So Mulek and Thaldor, they go over to Dulgrim's stall, and you see Dulgrim is there, and he's got everything laid out very neatly. He's got brand new blades and weapons that are up on display on a rack. He's got 2 or 3 tables that have secondhand weapons on them, and there are you can tell the secondhand weapons that are completely ready for sale by the way they are displayed. There's other secondhand weapons that are waiting to be sharpened and polished and everything. And as you all come up, he is in the middle of using a sharpening stone on the edge of a sword. And he has an oiled rag there, as well as the stone, and he is working on a section of the blade as you walk up, and he's just sort of trying to get that one sharpened there.
Good day, sir. My name is Mulek. We just came from Malrig's place, and he recommended we come see you about selling you some of our wares that we have for trade.
Oh, you come from Malrig, eh? Ah, my brother-in-law. How is Malrig today?
Oh, he's doing good. I think he got some fine shields and armor from me, and he seemed pretty pleased.
Oh, so you're in the mood to sell today?
Yes, I am. I have a bit of a debt to a friend of mine, and I'm looking to get to what I can for these items. And I slowly pull out 4 long swords, 4 long bows, and 1 great sword.
Oh, let me take a look at them swords.
And so he takes the sword that he's working on and he sets it down very carefully. And he comes over and he reaches into an inner pocket of his coat and he pulls out a monocle and he puts that monocle on and he picks up one of the blades and he starts looking at it and he says, "Oh, mm, this thing's seen a lot of action." Yeah.
Well, they didn't see much action against us, but
Oh. And he gives a little sniff and he's, "Ugh, bugbears,
hobgoblins.
hobgoblins."
We rid the world of a few of those.
Well, good for you, lad. Good for you. Let's see. So, yes, these are in good condition. He inspects all four of them. He looks at the pommels, tests the grip and the weight, and so, oh, yes, very well balanced. And so he says, yes, I could give you 8 gold for each of these. And then, what were the other ones you have?
Long swords, longbows, and 4 long swords, 4 longbows, and 1 great sword.
Okay. Whoops. He looks at the longbows and he inspects where the bowstring attaches, and then he inspects the flexing and he kind of flexes it and he listens very closely as he flexes and yes, feels good, nice and sturdy. Yes, I can give you 25 gold for each of these. And then
1 great sword.
The great sword. He looks at that and he says, "Oh, yes, this is a fine weapon. Very fine. Fine weapon, indeed. Yes, I can give you 25 gold for this."
A deal.
Okay.
Nice. Slide them over.
All right, so that's
157 total.
Okay, 157 total. All right, wonderful. And he says, "So where did you fight these hobgoblins? Up on the surface where you all come from, or did you find them on your way down here?"
Oh, no. It was up on the surface. Just a little while ago.
Well. Yes, well, wherever they were, good riddance to them, I say. Always trying to harass good folk and trying to take what doesn't belong to them.
We do our best. You had any problems with anybody down here?
Well, and he looks around to make sure that there's not any too close in the crowd, and he kind of leans over to you and he says, if I'm honest, the worst problem around here is the damn drow."
Really?
They always walking around with their noses in the air, thinking they own the whole Underdark. Just kind of
typical elves.
Spits on the ground next to his feet and says,
I look at Mulek and scowl just a little bit.
That for the drow. For all I care. Now, you boys, being surface folk, you make sure that you stay near the guards and in the Dark Lake District, because foreigners aren't allowed in other parts of the city, and them sneaky drow, if they sneak around and they find you somewhere else, they're liable to try to capture you and take you back as slaves to a drow city. You don't want that. As long as you stay here and you stay in the good graces of the guards, all you have to do is yell, and they will put paid to any mischief the drow try to cause.
Oh.
I can assure you of that.
Thank you for the good advice. So the Dark Lake District. That's this whole area here that we're in.
Oh yes, the beautiful dockside. I mean, have you ever seen anything as gorgeous as that lake? And he points out, and you're looking there, and it looks like a big, huge, still, flat lake that is black in a cavern that is black with walls that are black and a ceiling that is black. And he says, "Have you ever seen anything so beautiful?"
And I don't have my goggles of night on, and I'm just, yeah, it looks fantastic. It is beautiful.
Yes. And when it's late at night, if you have a lassie, you go walking down by the lake. Sometimes you can hear the cavefish jump, and the little sploop that they make. It's a lovely sound.
Now you talked about the Dark Lake District. We're new to the area. What areas are there? Any areas in specific areas we should stay away from?
Within the district, you are pretty good here. I would say that the Blade Bazaar is you're right, sort of at the entrance of the Blade Bazaar. That's going to be the main merchant district. So if you're buying or selling or conducting other commerce, this is the place to do it. You'll want to take a look at the Dark Lake Brewery. If you have a thirst, they brew some of the finest ales in all of the Underdark, in my opinion. The Dark Lake Docks. Now, they're fine for looking at, and if you want to go fishing, I would recommend going down towards the southern docks. You're going to find not so many boats tied up there, and you're also going to find a little bit. The water's a little quieter, so it's better fishing. But don't stray too far to the south, because again, you get out of the sight of the guards. You don't know those sneaky drow. They might try to come up in a boat or something and, whisk you away. So I'd be careful there. The one thing to kind of probably steer clear of, unless you have business, of course, is Overlake Hold. That is where His Highness the Deep King sits. It's very well guarded, and the guards that are around there, they're a little suspicious of foreigners. Foreigners who are here doing commerce, that's fine. You're contributing to the economy of the city, and they like that. Foreigners going, snooping around the Dark King's house? Maybe you're agents of the drow. So, probably stay away from the Overlake Hold unless you have legitimate business with the king, and then in that case, I would just go straight up to the guards and state your business and let them lead you inside.
The Deep King, is he dwarven?
And he
or
kind of blink
or Durgar. I'm not sure how to the proper.
Yeah. He looks at you. He blinks, and he cuts his eyes over to Thaldor, and he says, "Does he always drink this early?" He says in undercommon, "Does he always drink this early in the morning?"
It's okay. He's my friend, and I'm speaking in undercommon. It's okay. I'm kind of his compatriot. I kind of take care of him, making sure that he doesn't get a little too wily.
Okay. Well, says he looks back at Mulek and says, Well, lad, the last I checked, the Deep King was a dwarf. He hadn't been replaced by some drow spy, if that's what you're getting at.
Sorry. Again, I'm new. I'm new to this area, and I've seen various folk walking around. I didn't want to presume that who the Deep King was. I haven't heard of the Deep King, so apologies if I offended you.
Well, no offense taken. No offense taken. But yes, the His Highness, Deep King. I'm going to do. Okay. Where? Okay, I'm trying to find this guy's name. He's got a. Okay. Deep King. Yes, he says Deep King Horgar Steel Shadow the Fifth. That deserves to be in here. Deep King Horgar Steel Shadow the Fifth. He is the king of the Durgar and the ruler, the monarch of Gracklstugh.
Has he been a fair leader?
Oh,
I kind of whisper it or whatever. Has he been a fair leader?
Oh, yes. He's very fair. He looks after the interests of all Durgar and defends the city against any who would do it harm. He is the kind of leader we always need.
Oh, it's good to hear. It's always good to have a good leader.
Yes. And he says, now, of course, there are some that will tell you that the king is getting old. So he's starting to lose his mind. But I think those people, they're just rabble rousers. They're talking nonsense, if you ask me. King Horgar, he's a good old dwarf, as far as I'm concerned.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate the business. We'll be in this area for a while. I appreciate the good advice, and thanks for doing business.
Well, thank you. And if I can recommend the I always forget the name of this place, the Shattered Spire Tavern. My sister-in-law tends bar there, and that would be the wife of my brother-in-law. That you, no, actually,
It'd be his brother,
sorry.
wouldn't it?
No, it would be his sister tends bar there.
Gotcha.
The wife of my brother-in-law. Her name's Gwendora. She's a fine bartender, and they serve the best grilled barrel stock fillets in all of the city of Gracklstugh. It's a mighty fine lunch you'll find there.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate that. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as I did for your brother-in-law, I twiddle a gold piece in my fingers. You know how dexterous I am, and I flip him a gold piece. Thank you for your time and your information. Have a good day.
And he catches it, and he says, "And thank you, good sir. You all have a pleasant stay in Gracklstugh." And he has a genuine warm smile for you and gives you a wave as you all head back to the.
As we're walking away, I make sure no one's paying attention, and I hand Thaldor a bag of coin. It's got 500 gold pieces. I think this makes us even. Thank you for the loan.
Not a problem, buddy. But I have a gift for you. Consider this a gift. So what I do is, I know about the weight average. I guess that he said there's 500 in there. I quickly count out about 250 gold pieces. I hand it back to him and said, "Think of this as an investment. I know what it costs. Uncle Abinadom. I understand the cost of spell components. I understand the cost of a lot of expensive things. Hell, I have expensive tastes sometimes. But consider this an investment in you to protect my ass when we might need it." So I give him that. So buy you some spells, buy you some components, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for your honesty.
Oh, thank you. I'll make it well worth your expense.
No, buddy, it's yours. It's a gift.
All right. I'll
Okay.
definitely be watching your back. Always.
And you. Now let's go have a drink with Aliger, and I'll make sure I get you a glass of what they call milk or water when we get there.
Okay.
Conrad
As-
joking. He has not got water.
Now, if I recall correctly, Krenraid had mentioned they would meet the other two back in the plaza. And you can do that. However, the impression that you guys have made on the bartender, if you say you have some friends that you're bringing, she will make sure that your mugs are watched over and your bar stools are watched over, and nobody will take your places while you go to grab your friends. Or if you're just gonna figure they'll eventually find their way here, and you'll just enjoy drinking.
I think me and Mulek would go together and just go straight to the bar. Like we
Okay.
'cause we had the map and I memorized it, so I'd be like, okay, Mulek, we're going this way, so let's just go straight to the Dark Spire.
Okay,
Broken
and we'll just
Spire Tavern.
say that you would have mentioned to Falliger and Krenraid that you would meet them in the bar. So
Yeah.
okay, all right. So we'll handle it that way. So go ahead, Ken.
So we kind of like went out and paid people to spread the word. Would it be safe to say that they even got somebody that ran up to them and told them about the night's festivities, or no?
Yeah,
They probably have a crier, I'd imagine.
Make a let me make a
Persuasion?
roll. No, I'm gonna make a roll. Ken, call high or low.
Oh, you haven't rolled yet. Let me see. I'm gonna go high.
High, okay.
Did we ever get the name of the biggest blabbermouth?
Ooh.
At the pub?
Okay. I tell you what, it's a 9, so that's close. Nobody approaches you, Mulek, and Thaldor to tell you about a foreign bard that's going to be playing. But as you're turning away from the weaponsmith stall, you do hear a pair of Durgar walking by, and one of them says to the other, "Oh, well, that's quite fascinating. This foreign bard Falliger is going to be playing at the Broken Spire tonight, or at the Shattered Spire tonight."
I look over at Mulek because I imagine they're just speaking. Are they just speaking common, or are they speaking undercommon?
They would be speaking Dwarvish. So you
Dwarvish,
have
I wouldn't
Dwarvish, right?
No, I wouldn't understand them.
Okay, Mulek
Yeah.
speaks Dwarvish.
Yeah.
So Mulek would understand them. Yeah, Mulek would hear them. And
sorry, they said they heard that there's a foreign bard playing at the.
a foreign bard named Falliger playing at the Shattered Spire tonight.
Yeah, so I look at Thaldor and I'm like,
beer.
yeah, it looks like our friend is going to be performing tonight at the Shattered Spire.
Yeah, that's the Shattered Spire bar.
Yeah.
That's where we're on our way to. But oh Lord, here he goes again.
Yeah.
I tell Mulek, I was like, here he goes. Hey, I'm supposed to be his manager. Ain't I supposed to get a coin off that? Come on now. I mean, I hope he charged him good for this. Seriously. Come on. So we better get there quick because I imagine, in his state, he's probably like, screw it all. I'm just going to do this nice big performance and I'm doing it for free, knowing him. So let's he seemed like he was in a good mood when we got here. So I imagine that's what he told the lady. Let's go find out.
Regardless, it should be entertaining.
Okay, so
always.
So as you guys are starting to walk that way, both of you can make me perception checks.
Ugh.
Okay.
Dirty 21.
Yeah. Thaldor, you see this no problem. As you're walking, you see two figures that appear to be coming across the market square in your direction. One is a little bit taller than your knee, stands up to about your thigh in height, and is very slightly built, and with the has a cloak and a hood on, so you can't really tell whether it's a male or a female, but by the way the arms and legs look, you would presume it's a gnome. And next to the gnome is a creature that may make both of you stop a little bit. It is slightly taller than a man. It's about 7 or 8 feet tall, and it appears to be made of a series of boulders that are in roughly stupid. That stupid assistant thought I said her name. It is made of a collection of boulders that are are shaped vaguely in a humanoid shape, and it appears to be lumbering along beside this gnome, and the two of them are coming straight towards you.
I wouldn't know what it is. I wouldn't even have an idea of what it is.
So I imagine you pointed out to me.
Yeah.
I say, that looks peculiar. I rolled the Arcana check because I'm sorry, it might have been a little meta, but I didn't know. But I was like,
probably more like a survival or nature check than an Arcana check.
Survival nature. Okay.
Do you want me to roll one of those?
Yeah. Actually, Mulek.
There we go. Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah. You both see that, and you immediately recognize that's an earth elemental.
Yeah, I look over in Elvish and I tell him, it's like, yeah, that's something we don't want to fuck with. I know we've seen a bunch of different elementals in our travels, but that's an earth elemental.
Yeah.
Does it look like they recognize us? I mean, they're coming straight for us.
You can't tell because obviously the earth elemental doesn't show any expression on its features. The gnome creature, the gnome-like creature, has a deep hood on, and so you can't see their face. So you don't know if they recognize you, but they definitely are making
A beeline.
They definitely
for us.
are making a beeline for you. So
is there
as-
is there a crowd or anywhere we can kind of like get away to kind of disappear from them at all?
Well, I grab Mulek by the arm, like arm in arm. I lock arms with him and I move us towards the nearest alleyway, if there is one, like in the city. If there's like wherever we're walking, is there?
How far away? How far away are they from us?
by the time you notice them, they're about maybe 30 yards away. So
geez, they're close.
90 feet.
Yeah, I try to cut us into an alleyway as quick as I can.
Okay. You guys go and make me. Both of you can make me a stealth check. or a hide check, I should say.
17.
17. Yeah, 17 and 11. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because hide is actually something that rogues get, right? That's not a.
That's only an action, like
Well,
disengage and stuff.
Yeah, anyone can try to hide.
Okay. 17 and 11. All right. So you guys go in there, and let's just see what her Okay. All right. So you all head in there, and then there's a you get around a corner, and you sort of wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then a couple of moments later, a little figure, a gnome, darts into the alley and stands across from you and pulls her hood back, and you see that it is a gnomish female, but
Oh,
it's kind
God.
of a gray skinned gnome, and she smiles at you, and she says, you boys are smart. It's perfect to come and do business here in the alley. Um, I I couldn't help but noticing that you guys have been in the market to sell some weapons and armor, and it just so happens that I'm looking for a buyer, and I wonder if you all are interested. And she pulls a backpack off of her back, and she opens up one side pouch of it, and you see that the side pouch opens into just a dark, empty void. And she sticks her hand into the dark, empty void, and she pulls out a small leather pouch. And she says, I was supposed to meet a buyer here, but he hasn't shown up. And I've got to get back home by the time nightfall comes, because I don't want to be out with the drow patrols on the roads, even with my friend here. And she sort of jerks her head to the side, and you don't see anything at first, and then you see, like, just literally out of the stone of the ground, just like the head of this earth elemental just rises up and then just sinks back down into the stone.
Wow. If I didn't piss myself or wear my brown pants, I should have done it then.
And she says, what I've got is some jewels. And she opens the pouch, and she pours out into her hand, and she holds the palm of her hand out, and there's 2 garnets there. And she says, I've got 10 in total.
I'm sorry. What was your name?
My apologies. Call me Ariana.
Ariana. My name's Mulik.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mulik.
And I'm Thaldor, and I'm very curious at you. What made you pull us out of all the people in the marketplace?
Well, you're hard to miss. You're surface folk, of course. Most of the foreigners here are other races from the Underdark. You guys stand out a bit like a sore thumb, and you're doing business with a couple of the popular merchants here, so you look like you know your way around. You know a good bargain when you see it. Like I said, I've got 10 of these garnets, and I'm only asking 100 gold each.
I whispered Mulek's ear real quick. No offense to you, little one. I look over to Mulek and whisper in his ear. I say, "Can you cast detect magic on those things?"
Yeah, and that's as she says that. I tap my revolver, my artificer revolver, and it does detect magic.
Okay. The gems in her hand are not glowing. The little leather pouch that she's holding is not glowing, but her backpack is glowing. And there's a glowing patch like right on the ground next to where that no, I guess elementals aren't magical. They're just from a different plane. So that wouldn't detect as magic either.
Yeah, I sort of nod in the negative back to Thaldor.
So what's so special about these garnets?
Well, as I said, I was supposed to meet a merchant here. You know, Gryron. Gryron was supposed to meet me here and buy these this morning, but he never showed up. And it's getting about midday, and I stayed in the city last night. I don't want to have to stay again tonight, so I need to get back. I need to get back on the road.
I'm
after lunch.
curious. I throw a little thieves' cant and speak in hands and see if she recognizes it.
Okay. And she looks at you, and she says, "No, no. As far as I know, these aren't stolen."
So she understands thieves' cant. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We can talk then. Okay. So as far as you know, they're not stolen. I'm speaking to her in thieves' cant, so you know
Yeah.
they're not stolen. What was you going to charge him for the garnets?
They're worth 100 gold each. I was going to charge him 100 gold. That was the price we negotiated.
And I look over at Mulek and I'm like, look, she wants 100 gold apiece for these things. I just don't see what. I mean, I get it that somebody was supposed to buy them from her. They're not stolen that she knows of, just to put your mind at ease. But something just doesn't seem right. It's this is kind of an awkward situation.
I don't need any garnets. Who's this Gyrin? You said who is this Gyrin?
That was going to be her buyer.
Is this someone you've dealt with before?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that will. He's a jewel merchant. He likes buying and selling and trading in jewels. He sells them on to. Or I'm sorry, he's a gem merchant. He buys and sells them on to jewelers who will make fancy jewelry from them, or he will sell them to bankers who will use them as an alternative to heavy coin.
You've done business with him before?
Yes, I come to Gracklstugh 2 or 3 times a year, and from Blingenstone.
Do you know where Gyrin comes from?
Well, of course, he's a merchant here. He's a native of Gracklstugh.
I look over at Mulek. Something's not right. I'm imagining, and I'm thinking this. Something's not right.
If he's a merchant here, does he have a storefront? Does he have somewhere that he sells and trades? Or does he just roam around?
She looks at Mulek, and she does that blinking thing, and then she looks over at Thaldor and says, "Does he always drink so early in the morning?"
What?
And she said that. She probably said that in Undercommon again.
in Thieves Can't. Yeah,
Or in Thieves
She says
Can't,
that.
yeah, because Mulek don't know Thieves Can't. And I say, I've got this. This ain't the first time this question has been asked in Thieves Can't. So I also say to her in Thieves Can't, you know what? For your trouble, sell me from thief to thief. Sell me 2 of those for 100, and we'll call it a deal. I can't buy them all from you, but sell me 2 of those garnets for 100 gold.
And she says, you want 2 of them for 100. You want 2 of them for 100. Oh, friend. Let me just double check. No. Okay. You want 2 of them for 100. You know, Anamus would not be happy with me if I sold 2 of them for 100. I might be able to do 2 for 75, but 2 for 100, no.
75 apiece. That's, you know what?
Yeah,
thief to
2
thief.
for
That's-
75
that-
piece, yeah.
I'll do that. I can't buy them all, like I said, but I'll buy 2 of them off of you for 75 gold apiece.
What do you need garnets for?
I feel bad. I talked to him in Elvish. I feel bad, and then for this poor lady here, but also I'm curious. I think there's something. I don't think they're just garnets, because that would make. Well, I mean, it could be. They could be just garnets, but if I at least have 2 of them, we could sell them later. We could turn them into something. You never know. I mean, you're the warlock. Here you're the wizard. You're also the artificer. You might have a use for them later.
What I think is going on is she's meaning to meet this guy, and something has happened to him. I don't think it's about the garnets. I think it's about the buyer.
I was thinking that I was thinking too. But hell, she is a merchant and she's got to make a coin. I'm not. Hey, I'm not against somebody making a coin. But like I said, they might come in handy. You know how to do a little artificy, and you know how to do a little wizardry. So maybe you might be able to use them down the road. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it's your money.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, how about just one? One might work. You never know. Or what color are the garnets?
They're red.
So they're blood red garnets.
They're red, and they're kind of sparkly.
Ooh, yeah. I like shiny.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one from her then for 75 gold. I'll buy 1 garnet, and then I'll hand it to Mulek and say, hold on to this.
Okay. If you want to go from 2 to 1, she's gonna start looking at you like you're trying to fast talk her, and she's well.
No.
I'll need. If you only want 1, I'll need 90.
85.
All right, 85.
Okay.
And she puts 1 back in the bag, and she gives you 1, and she says, "Well, I'm gonna have to find somebody else to buy the rest of these. Well, you blokes have a good day." And she looks at the ground, and she says, "Come on, Anamus." And she walks out of the alley and leaves, and then kind of sort of just sliding through the earth as it rises up is this earth elemental that just then takes up station beside her and starts walking off with her.
But you're right, Mulek. Something doesn't seem right with the fact that she was supposed to meet this guy, and he's a normal trader here, and I think something happened to him.
Well, he's a gem trader.
Right.
Yeah, so something fishy.
Yeah. Okay, so Now, without further ado, you guys get to the Shattered Spire, and we are about to have our break. When we come back from break, you all will have a chance to interact with each other, and then we will see what happens with Falliger's playing, and we will see if you guys learn anything during the afternoon and or the evening that you are there at the Shattered Spire. So I'm going to go ahead and put the music on. Let's take about 10 minutes or so and come back. I have almost 10 till, so we'll come back at the top of the hour, and then we will see what happens in the rest of the session. All right, chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We will be back momentarily.
Who just dropped out of chat?
Gally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, like I said, that was kind of weird. I just thought that was really weird. And I ain't gonna lie, James, I kind of did feel bad for her. Like, because she could understand thieves can't. So being a thief, it's like, well, at least one garnet, like I said, you might be able to use it down the road. Hell, if not, we can sell it.
Yeah, I did a component lookup quickly, and I don't think garnets will help me. But why don't you hold on? Why don't you hold on to it for now?
That's fine. I'll put it in my inventory. But it's shiny, but you never know.
Yeah,
You can always make it into a piece of armor or a crown or a sword, make it extra special and shiny. Why not?
Yeah. Hell yeah, there you go. We could or a ring, make a cool ring out of it. You can imbibe it with magic. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. I could do the metal work, and you can do the magic. We can do something there.
I got a lot of weird looks though. Everyone kept looking at me funny.
Yeah, they all thought you were drunk. It was great. All right, Mulek, are you half elf or are you human?
No, I'm human.
Okay, so I mean you're both human. Okay.
Yeah, we're two humans. So I guess I'm just the stupid human. But I guess that fits because my charisma is so low that
Yeah, and Gally goes to hell with that.
like
'Cause
teasing me.
He was teasing you a bit.
he was teasing the hell out of you. Like, where's Captain Charisma when we need him? But like I said, when you
setting up the show,
said them dirty elves, I gave you a scowl because I'm like, you know who like my adopted uncle is, right? Should have said them dark elves, and I've been like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you talk about money. There is a spell that each time I cast it, it consumes 100 or 1 pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
That would be, I think I know the spell you're talking about. You're talking about Fortune's Favor?
Yep.
But
I haven't prepared it because it's just so dang expensive right now. We don't really have thousands of gold to just kind of burn. But it gives you, it's just it's basically 1 luck point, but you only have an hour to use it. So
it works good right before battle.
Yep. So that's what I need to say. I need to save up money to copy scroll spells and to build up, so I can cast things like Fortune's Favor and stuff.
That's why I gave you the money as an investment. In as character, it just made sense.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I just wanted to make sure I was out of debt, so that was my main. That was my main goal.
Well, the whole debt thing. The whole thing about the debt, it wasn't really that I cared about the money. If you notice about Thaldor, he kind of takes a little after his uncle. Like, money comes and goes. I'm not worried about the gold.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's like, well, in life, the whole thing is like, even his lifestyle is a 4 gold a day lifestyle, which is, what is that? Moderate, or it's not like the most expensive, but it's like 2 steps below it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to live comfortable. And like I said, we do jobs, we find coin, we sell stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the gold. And that, as Thaldor looked at it, it was like, okay, we've been traveling. God, we've been traveling for a while. At least, 2 or 3 months together or more?
Yeah, quite a while.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take care of this man. He knows something I don't know, which intrigues the shit out of me because, and that's why it's like, I want to get to know him more. and figure out what's in his head. But at the same time, I look at this as an act of friendship. Here's, you paid me back, but this is a gift. I want to invest in you. Yeah.
No, I totally understand. I just wanted to make sure that I know you did that out of friendship, but I was still and Mulek is like, I can't just take the money, right? I want to be able to pay it back. So you gave it back to me. Okay, you want to give it back to me? I will take it to use it for what we need to use it for. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I knew that. Yeah, Daldor knew. He's like, you gave me all the money back, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, you know what? I plan to do that because I know you were selling all that stuff to do that, and during the whole time you're doing that, I'm like, I'm going to give him some of this back, at least half, because I know how expensive spell components can be.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? This is my gift to you. Plus, I need to get a hold of Galley. Where's the book that I promised you that I paid for? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can do sending now too. So I can talk to. Well, I can't talk to Dorsifir, but I can talk to Abinadom.
Well, if Abinadom, see, I wouldn't know this. This is just us talking and bullshitting. But if Abinadom's still in his library and he got the message from Dorsifir, then he would understand and he probably could send it to you.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting conversation to see.
Yep.
Because I did send the message back to my uncle, said, hey, can you grab me a book from Uncle Abinadom's library for my compatriot? I didn't even give him your name. I just said for a friend of mine that knows him, apparently, because that's what I had him write in the letter. I just need something that can help him,
I think I could do a sending to Dorsifir if you made yourself look like Dorsifir.
Yeah, you have to see him. Yeah.
Yeah, if you made yourself look like your uncle, Galabon might allow that to happen, and then I would just reach out to him and say, you don't know me, but I'm with your nephew.
It's familiar with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it familiar with?
You have to be familiar with. So it depends on what, how Galabon,
Well, I can, what's cool about Keen Mind, and another trait that I have, Mastermind and stuff, I could actually mimic my uncle. So that wouldn't be hard.
I think it's open to interpretation.
True. It's on the DM's part. Yeah.
I know in Critical Role, they have used sending a lot, and then they've done things like that to have them, with a description, and it either works or it doesn't work.
That's up to Galley. I mean, we could do that, but what would be easier? I still have a scroll of sending, so I mean, you've got the scroll.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do. We have
sending. Right.
We have
2.
We have 8.
Yeah. So I can burn one just to talk.
That's true. I forgot.
Talk to my uncle. Right.
I forgot we had all the scrolls. Yeah.
So I can just burn one. It's like, because you've got it memorized. Like in game, we can do that. I'd be like, you got that memorized, don't you, Mulek?
Yep.
Yeah. So then I'll just burn one and say, I'm going to talk to my uncle real quick and have a conversation. But I'll have to have Galley's assistants to know what exactly I'm giving you and how to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
Because I might need to bring that up with him too, because I paid pretty handsomely to have it sent to me wherever I'm at. And, there's Thieves Guild all over the world. So even in the Underdark, there's got to be some shady places that somebody could just come up and deliver me a package,
Absolutely. The world's connected in many different ways.
Especially in the underbelly of the Thieves Guild. So I'll ask him. I don't know, maybe during the week or...
We just need to stay somewhere long enough.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That package has probably been trying to follow us all over the place,
Maybe. There's a really tired courier carrying a package. Like, where the fuck is he?
Where the fuck are they? It's like, where the hell did they go? It's like, wait a minute. They were here 1 minute at this weird temple. Now they're in the Underdark? What the hell? So I paid to have that message delivered post haste. So what they did was they literally used a teleportation spell. So you know how expensive that can be. So they literally took the message, teleported directly to Phandalin, and delivered it to the Thieves Guild directly to my uncle. So that makes sense. So it's like, where's the package?
Yeah.
Could you imagine like a little wizard delivery, like a little wizard thief that, is like, where are these guys at? what the hell's going on? I just can't.
There's a proper Sherlock Holmes coming after us right now, thinking he's trying to deduce where the hell we've come, like where are we going, like what the hell's going on, where the hell are they? And he's going for all the places that you guys have been trying to find you.
Probably asking questions, paying gold out the ass. Where are these guys at? Where did they go?
Yeah, exactly. I like how we've made so many friends as well, which is really nice. It's always good to make friends in new places.
Just wait till I get to the bar and go up and get a round, and you're like, "Oh, I bought you a round." No, I got you, homie. I got you.
Oh, I don't see why we can't have more than one.
Yeah, but I didn't pay for mine.
Well, I saw your. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the music. I saw your note in the Discord there, Paul, and that reminds me of where and when I learned how to properly drink Guinness. I learned how to properly drink Guinness at Cambridge University there in the UK. When I was in college, my alma mater had participated in the international summer school that Cambridge has. And so I went over and spent the entire summer taking classes there at Cambridge for credit back here in my university. And we were staying in Selwyn College, which is one of the newer dorms over there. And of course, we were all amazed because all the college dorms have their own pubs in the over there at Cambridge. And so there were these two little old ladies that they had to be 70 years old. They ran the pub. And so it was a whole mix of people that would come in there every evening. It was students. It was, of course, a bunch of us that were from America. And then there were some faculty. And there was this little Irish professor. I think he was a history professor or something like that. And he would always come in there every night. And, he saw several of us drinking, the ratty American beer, and he says to me, he says, "Now, would you like to learn to drink a proper beer?" And I was like, "Sure." He says, "All right." And he says, "Buy my friend here, or I'm going to buy my friend here a pint of Guinness." And so they pour it, and it comes, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay. Haven't seen anything like this before." And he says, "All right, now you're going to drink this real slow." And so he taught me about how you can nurse a Guinness for a good half hour, and I've always enjoyed drinking Guinness slow that way. Other beers I can drink fast, but that I always have to drink that slow.
Guinness is so heavy. That's why Guinness is such a heavy beer. You have to let it sit so that all it separates.
Correct. You leave it to breathe for 10 minutes after you. Well, you have to pour most of it out, so it's 3/4 of the way up. Wait about 10 minutes, pour the rest out so you get the froth on top, and then you've got to nurse it. You're absolutely right to do so because Guinness has a ton of iron in it and it's very thick. So it's nice and smooth when it goes down.
Oh yeah,
this just because I made a good joke. Come on.
Yeah. I miss Guinness so much. I miss it so much.
So now you're in the UK, right, Paul? Or
Correct.
Okay, so you guys are having a hard time. You can't get it because you can't go to the pubs. Okay, I'm.
It's all closed. Yeah.
All right.
Everybody sings the praises of Guinness, but there is a brand that's even older than Guinness, and it's called Smithwick's, and it is freaking delicious. And
Never had the pleasure.
It is distributed by Guinness because they bought the company. It was the oldest brewery in the world, and they Guinness bought it and carried on the recipe, and it's really delicious.
Interesting.
Well,
real quick,
I will
just
have
to
to
blow
look
your
at
mind. Paul, one thing I do like that comes from the UK, and it's not a beer, but it's Strongbow cider. I love the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, Strongbow is really good.
So this is where our opinions differ slightly. I detest Strongbow. I think it tastes like piss water, but it's personal preference, isn't it?
True, but if you drank Bud Light, then you would think that was piss water.
I have and I do.
So yeah, so at least the Strongbow has a good flavor. Bud Light's like drinking water with alcohol in it.
What do you drink cider at all, Paul?
I do.
And if,
I'm
so, what is your brand?
So it's actually probably the I think it's the Kopparberg Sweet Berry Swedish stuff. That
Okay.
stuff is freaking delicious. They do an amazing pear one, and the sweet berry one is also very nice. Personally, I'm always more of an ale man, but if cider's on the menu, that's what I'm having.
Yeah, here in the U.S., craft breweries have taken off like wildfire, and in Orlando, where I am, prior to COVID, God knows how many are going to be left after COVID is over. But there were, within a half-hour drive, there were like 30 craft breweries that you could go to, and they all had their own little pubs and bars and draft rooms or tap rooms and everything. And one of the ones that I really like is located almost right across the street from the Orlando City Stadium. And so before we go to the game, we always go down, hang out, and have some beers there. And everybody does the march to the match from the pub. And so I've been drinking a lot of that stuff, and I've gotten away from drinking, mass market stuff, regardless of where it comes from, because I just, what are they brewing this week? Oh, let me try a number 4. Let me try a number 8.
There's lots of variety in your life. That's a good way to live. Spiced is the fruit of life, some people say.
This weekly rant in D&D is brought to you by Guinness.
Yes, it is.
I wish. Do I get a lifetime supply?
Dwarven Ale. Guinness Dwarven Ale.
Oh, right. So now that we have entertained the chat with our talk of all of our favorite beers, hey, chat, you can go ahead and throw in what your favorite beers are, or ales, or whatever it is that you drink when you go to the pub. We are back at the Shattered Spire, and so you guys are all meeting up, and it's just about the time that let me find her name again, that Gwendora is bringing out the fillet of barrel stock. And these are, you realize looking at it, they look like they're cuts of meat, and they have an aroma like there's some strong seasoning on it, but you realize as you begin to cut into it, these are actually some kind of mushroom that has been made, and the fillets are a good sort of 8 inches across, and maybe 2 or 3 inches wide, and maybe half an inch thick. So if this is out of a mushroom, it's a darn big mushroom. And indeed, the seasoning on it, it's got a very zesty and tangy seasoning. And then it's got some sort of a dark sauce that's very savory, that's sort of drizzled over it. And it's been grilled. And it has a very nice sort of meaty, hearty flavor to it. So if you like sort of a spicy seasoned pork, you would like this, because that's about what it reminds you of in terms of flavor. is a spicy seasoned pork.
You're making me really hungry, Gally, can I just say?
But
Thank goodness I've already ate.
yeah, but they say, but she says, "Well, how do you lads like it?"
Oh, so good. Oh.
It's pretty damn good. I like it a lot.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And you, Master Mulek, is your food appealing to you?
Thumbs up. It's great. Thank you.
Yes. And are you doing all right with your water there?
It's fantastic.
And she sort of looks at the rest of you and gives you kind of a wink and like, hey, this boy doesn't know what he's missing.
We'll get him drinking later, don't worry. Maybe just keep feeding him this and he'll get drunk off it, right?
And she, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I was going to talk to Mulek. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. No. Take it away.
So I'm holding up my tankard of ale there. You know, nice white on the top and black as night. And I look at Mulek and say, Mulek, my uncle used to say that Abinadam would chill his drinks. Can you chill this for me?
Yeah, I could. I might destroy your mug, but I could.
Wait, because what was the can? Was it a cantrip or?
Well, it's a cantrip, but it's an attack cantrip. A frigid beam of blue-white light streaks towards a creature within range. So it has to be a creature.
Well, I thought. It was just a thought. It's okay.
Should it?
Don't you have prestidigitation?
No.
Oh well, that can be used
Well,
to
I
chill
could.
things.
Yeah, I could cast that once. I mean, I could once a day. I could try it. I'll try it here. So I'll try to cast prestidigitation to chill it. Let me do this. Let me do this. Do this.
I would have thought he would have dropped like a pill in it or something.
I just chilled it for you.
I take a sip. Wow, this is really good. Faerun, Crinrid, try this.
Wait, what did he do to it though? First, sorry, I'm fast in my face.
He chilled it.
He chilled it.
And made it cold.
How?
With his magic.
Oh, the finger wagging. Got it. Okay, yeah, give me that.
I bet he drinks it down. After I take a sip and then he
does.
Tries it and he just downs it.
He's gonna down it.
You said you can only do this once a day? Hell, you should have done this on an entire pitcher.
Wow.
What in the hell were you thinking?
You didn't ask.
It was really good. Oh yeah, it was really another. I put my beer in front of
drops the wizard. In front of oh well, what's to say? Like I just look over at Mulek like, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to get you into this, buddy. I just thought it was a cool idea.
Well, next time we'll do the pitcher.
Okay.
Mulek, roll an Arcana check for me.
There we go.
19. Okay. Mulek knows that there is a way he could do. He could chill more. It would be perhaps a little painful to Mulek to do it this way, but the thought does cross his mind that if he did Ray of Frost into his own hand to chill his hand and then grab the mug, that might do it. But of course, again, a limited number of times a day because you don't want to knock your own hit points down too far.
Yeah. I think I'll save that one for another time.
Okay. All right.
Boys, I have made the perfect idea for this evening.
I think we heard that on the way in, surprisingly.
I thought that it would give us a great alibi, kind of make us a little bit famous. And maybe people won't ask so many questions while we're the hell down here.
And people
plus,
speak
I get to have a little
really
bit of
openly when
fun.
they get to drink.
Just
People
let
are
you know,
normally way
Crinrade.
more talkative when
Just
they're
let you.
having some beer in them. I'm just
That's
gonna
true. But just to let you know, Crinrade, I can't pick you up. So don't get too hammered, okay?
say. They'll need more than they've got in this entire tavern to do that.
I open my backpack and I point at the nice aged bottle of whiskey. It's like, buddy, trust me, I think I have something in here that can knock you out. But that's just for me to know and for you to find out later.
Challenge accepted. He says,
You don't
stuffing his
realize,
face full
because
of
we
food.
just met him, he doesn't realize how expensive that bottle of whiskey was.
It's a bottle of
how
whiskey
good
to
it is.
Crane Raid. He has absolutely no idea. It's just a bottle.
Right,
He proves
right.
it.
You
I
know,
think me and Fallager have had it, and you know what? Just for that, I look at the I look at the barkeep and I throw her a gold piece and said, "I'm gonna open my own bottle real quick if you don't mind." So I take the little cups that I have with it out, pour Fallager a shot, me a shot. I look over at Mulek because like I know you don't want it, and I say, "Crinrade." I take his tankard. I probably have about a half a bottle of whiskey left. I pour him about a good quarter of a tankard. And I still have just a little bit of whiskey left. And I said, here you go. Bottoms up, guys. Fallager to your evening. And you better get some coin off this.
well, it's mostly a publicity stunt, but we'll see.
Hey, Thaldor,
Sir,
I'm not a drinker. Is that stuff better cold or room temperature?
that varies, actually. I don't ever think I've had cold whiskey. Because, I mean, if we're going out of game, I don't think in that world, ice, unless it's during the winter
Yeah,
time, they would have it. Right.
probably wouldn't. You would probably drink whiskey room temperature.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
unless it's winter, they go break up ice
Yeah.
or something. But during
Yeah.
this time and we're underground, I doubt we'll find anything cold. So it's all right, man. Now this would be good. It'll go down pretty smooth. It's a pretty aged whiskey, so it's smooth.
I feel bad taking such a special thing. I'm the one that owes you all these drinks. By the way, help yourself. My cousin's a good girl.
I take care of that in a minute.
You know, I hear all this damn talk about dwarves, liquor, ale, this, the blah, blah, blah. But I'm here to tell you that in Tatir, the elves got some wine that'll make you howl at the moon. And it's so damn good. And by the time you realize that you're complete tits up, it's too late.
Sounds like the perfect evening.
I have to take you up on that one time, Fallager. We'll have to find some good elven wine. But no, yeah. So cheers, fellas. Down your whiskey.
Cheers.
Good Jim.
But yeah, Mulek, I mean, I know you're not much of a drinker, buddy, but maybe you just try this. And what I do is I take and pour just a little bit like into a shot glass, like it barely fills the bottom of the shot glass. Like, join us just for this once. And it's not a lot, but
A little partner.
a little bit.
Hell, it ain't going to happen.
I'm sorry. I don't drink. It's a matter of personal conviction.
You drink
No,
water, don't you?
hell.
But you drink
Oh.
water. You do drink though, right?
Oh, I do drink water. Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't drink. He doesn't imbibe alcohol. So
Yeah, they all say that until some bow-legged they come along and they offer you some liquor, and then you're like, "Oh, I don't drink," and that argument just never holds up.
we even got a snicker out of Mulek. What's going on with this?
Maybe for the weak-minded.
That's all right. This is coming from a priest, but you just keep on pretending how pure you are over there, partner. That's just all right.
Just look at it as it leaves more for you guys to drink.
He makes a very valid point.
Well, Crinrade, we know you can probably drink all of us under the table, anyways. But that's beside the point,
Oh, we haven't got to know each other that well quite yet. We haven't found the table.
It wouldn't take you that far to get underneath it, but hey.
Well, speaking of which, I expect things to get mighty crazy here tonight. We'll put on one hell of a performance. I think it'll, like I said, it'll make us fit in a little bit better, and ought to get treated better on our travel the further we go in, maybe.
I've got some thoughts on that actually. I'm gonna reach into my bag right quick and try and rustle something out, get my pipe out, and say, well, I think we could really enhance the experience, right? If we have some tricks coming. And I'm going to blow on the pipe and it will basically form the shape of a dragon breathing fire for a couple of seconds and then dissipate. A bit like when Gandalf forms that boat and puffs it through the smoke in Lord of the Rings.
That is cool. Wow.
Oh,
Now, I'm
that's
going to do this.
nice.
And if we get some fire, right, on the background, and we have you come in as the star, maybe when the wizard guy can do some fancy twiddling of his fingers and spawn some lights, it will look proper nice.
Well, I've been working on what I like to call some outlaw country, and I think down here it ought to go over real well. Yeah, you know, them people up top, they're all pretty good to two shoe and uppity tighted ends, whatnot, and I've just been writing the songs for quite a while, and I got to get it out. You know what I'm saying?
Your passion is inspiring, he says, stuffing his face full of food.
But
Out, partner.
Miss Bartender, do you know any musicians around here?
Oh, yes. There's quite a few musicians, and I dare say several of them will be here this evening. They'll probably be very keen to hear the songs you have, and they may want to learn one or two of them if you're so inclined to teach them a little bit of them.
Well, Lost Tits, yes, I want to play with them. Maybe they'll agree to come up on stage and we can have a little bit of a band soiree, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, I'm sure they would enjoy that. Yes, they would very much enjoy that. I will watch out for them, and I will make sure to send them your way.
Very good, very good. By the way, this blackened, whatchamacallit, it's really tasty.
Oh, well, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm so glad that you all are enjoying it. Well, carry on. Have a good afternoon. I will be here behind the bar or in the kitchen as you need it, and call out for myself or any of the servers. And she.
Cousin, wait, Orm.
Oh, yes.
Who's the biggest blabbermouth in this town? Who's the one with the biggest little gob?
Oh, the biggest blabbermouth. That would have to be. Oh, come on. That would have to be. Go back to dwarf. No. Go back to here.
As they're talking that, I walk up to the bar where they're behind the bar and is like, yeah, your husband Marlog
Yes.
said that you would and they can't hear me, would throw us around for being good folk. Do you mind giving me all that one round? I got to give it to my dwarven buddy over there. We have a bet going on.
And she looks at you and she says, "Oh, why, yes. What will he have?
The strongest
Will he
ale
have-
you
Ah, very well. I will get that." And then an answer to Kren's question, she says, "Oh, that would be Umzivier, or Umziver, the gadfly. He
All right.
is the."
One of you with bigger brains, write that down. Sorry, continue.
I love him.
Is the
And I'm putting everything, all the names and places into the NPC names and locations once Galabot puts them in there, just FYI.
okay. And she says, "Oh, he is a gnome that has a stall selling tack and harness in the Blade Bazaar. And Ziver, you tell Ziver the Gadfly something, and everybody in the entire marketplace will know it by sundown. Well, metaphorically speaking, by the time they roll up the shutters on the shops.
I guess he puts a pin in it, eh?
Yes, he does, actually.
All right, well, we need to get to him then for, several reasons at some point. Well, to put a pin in that.
Okay. And everybody make me a perception check.
Me too. Oh, good
wow,
going.
Okay. Wow, a lot of people rolling really good. Okay. Yeah. I think everybody except for Krenraid.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah. Krenraid is so busy eating and drinking that he's just really focused in on what he's doing there. But everybody except Krenraid overhears a conversation at a table not too far away from the bar. And there's a couple of Duergar there, and they are looking rather somber compared to the other people in the bar that are there for lunch, and most of them are having a good time. And one of them shakes his head and says, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Could you? I had no idea that he was dealing in stolen merchandise. And the other one says, I know. I was shocked when I heard too. But the guards of the Deep King arrested him, so it must be true. And I said, well, maybe he was breaking the law, but good old Gryron, he was always one for he was always a good drinking companion. And the other one says, yes, well, now we'll have to lift our mugs without him. And they lift their glasses and they clink them and they say, to Gryron. And they take a drink. And then the first one says, how long do you think the Deep King is going to make them keep his head up on the wall?
Oh Lord! I look over at Mulek especially when he says that. I look over at Mulek like, well, that answered our question.
Are they speaking in common?
They're speaking in Dwarven.
He would know that then.
Yeah, they're speaking in Dwarven. So actually, Mulek would. Or wait.
So our dwarf didn't notice the dwarven talk. But
no, he's
Mulek heard it.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear and that name, Gryron, you remember where you've heard that name.
Yes.
And so yeah.
I while I'm overhearing, I catch the attention of Thaldor because he was with me, and to say, hey, they're talking about Gryron. Apparently, he was arrested.
Really?
And it sounds like he's going to be executed for dealing in stolen merchandise.
Whoa. Well, I had a feeling, like I said,
yeah.
She was a thief, so it makes sense. 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I get it now.
I'm going to continue, and I'm going to continue listening to see if I catch any more talk from the Duergar.
All right, buddy, that works.
Okay.
Well, I was telling Galabon while I'm having this conversation with you that I'm still trying to pick up bits and pieces of what I can if there's anything else.
Okay. They you get the gist of what you get is that bought he bought some emeralds from a drow trader, and it turned out that those emeralds were actually stolen from a priestess of Lolth in one of the drow cities. And so sounds like probably this was as much an arrest to maybe avoid trouble with the drow as it was to actually punish somebody that they thought was a criminal.
Okay. And I also catch the others up to what's going on.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that's what they speculate. They speculate that he may not have even known that what he was buying was stolen merchandise, but if it was stolen from a drow priestess, she probably would have sent people to track it down. And when a priestess of Lolth accuses somebody in the Underdark of a crime, it's probably best to do something to keep her from getting really angry at you, because everybody kind of treads lightly around the priestesses of Lolth. At least that's what these Duergar think. And so they're like, yeah, and it sounds like that's another reason that they just dislike the drow, is because the drow have a tendency of, their politics becomes the politics of everybody else, regardless of whether you really are involved with anything they're doing or not, because of their sphere of influence in the Underdark.
Sounds like the king's going to use this poor Gryron as a scapegoat to appease these drow. Doesn't appear this king has as much authority as one would think. Sounds like these drow have a little bit more power down here than it would seem.
It looks like.
Yeah, for all four of you, when you think of the Underdark and you think of the, kind of the nemesis in the Underdark, all four of you all think of Drow, and it's very rare, except in the case of somebody like Krenraid. It's very rare that the other three of you would ever even hear of Duergar, because they're, first of all, Duergar aren't the kind of people that go raiding on the surface the way Drow sometimes do. And they're, whatever you may think of them as a race in the Underdark, they more often keep to themselves. And if they get into a conflict with somebody, it's more often because they're defending what they think is their territory than they're trying to go and take something. The Drow have a reputation of, they'll come in the middle of the night and steal your children and try to convert them to followers of Lolth if you let them. That's what most people think in the villages on the surface, at least. So,
guess we better watch our back then.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching your back, you can't watch your front, so don't watch your back too much.
No, but we got each other's backs, Grinraid. You'll learn that fat soon enough. So yeah, Val, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that you gave me this whiskey, so I'll wholeheartedly believe you on that. I'm already sold.
Good man. Good man. That wasn't cheap whiskey either, but good man. I look over at Fallager. Fallager, are you sure this would be a good idea? From what, Mulix just told us, that do we really want to make that big of a presence here? Because that could draw a lot of unwanted attention our way.
Yes. Don't you know that any attention isn't bad attention?
In certain, maybe above ground, buddy. I wouldn't see that being a problem.
Nah, I'm telling you right now, there's people down here. They're so wind up tight, they're just aching to get loose.
And
I think you're already there, my friend.
Speaking of publicity, and speaking of Fallager's performance, was there anything in particular, or is there anything in particular any of you want to do between lunch and the time that Fallager is going to play? I don't want to push you along too fast if you want to do anything in particular, but I also don't want to drag it out if you guys are looking forward to getting to that.
That's fair, Gally. Only thing I wanted to do after hearing that story and Thaldor scared shitless, I just want to hide that garnet somewhere where I'm going to remember where it's at, but I just want to hide it where nobody else will see it and not worry about it being on me in case something happens.
Okay. All right.
Fallager explains that he thinks that it's a good idea just because no one's going to question a traveling bard and his companions. Like, no one's going to really... I mean, they're going to take him seriously as far as an entertainment situation, but I don't think anybody's going to be feel threatened. And I think that's what he's kind of going for, is he wants to just kind of like give some like positive celebrity status. And he's known through his travels that music brings everybody together. It doesn't matter if they're a bunch of seedy bastards living in the Underdark to a bunch of pompous, I think I'm better than thou people on the sun side of like the castles above us, like, I don't know. I just feel like he thinks that it could make us a little bit of coin and it'll make us more inconspicuous.
And we can make some friends.
And that's what he kind of like out of character. That's what he's explaining.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
And you guys have already, made several friends here, and, you're worldly travelers, between the different languages, and the, charisma that Fallager has, and sort of the streetwise smarts that Faldor has, being able to work both the underground, if you will, and work the above board, and then now being in a place where there's lots of dwarves who may distrust surface dwarves, but at the end of the day, they're all still dwarves. So they're going to, they might do a double take at Crenraid, but as long as he doesn't start bashing heads, they're probably not gonna be bothered with him
unless there's a bar fight. I won't.
Right. So
and Mulek is just the drunkest of them all, and he doesn't even.
Correct. Yes. Mulek is just the crazy drunk that doesn't seem to know much of anything. Thank God Thaldor is there to look after him. At least that's what the barkeep's brother and husband, and probably the barkeep herself think.
News travels fast in the market. She said so herself. How long before the tale of the drunk wizard running around spread?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, during the downtime, I'm going to try and get a message to this Zavir, Gadfly guy. I'm going to try and find his store to try and spread the word of the show, and also
Okay.
ask about what the Lich asked is about.
Okay, I will let two people make some rolls between now and the time we get to that. Let's start with Thaldor. Thaldor, tell me a little bit about where you're thinking of hiding this garnet. Do you want to try to hide it somewhere in this establishment or somewhere outside the establishment?
Somewhere outside the establishment, because I wouldn't want to get them in trouble for anything.
Okay. All right.
So maybe in like a seedy alley outside,
Oh.
like maybe a block or two away from the establishment, somewhere where I can tuck it, where it's like, okay, I remember exactly where I put you. So even if it appeared later, if somebody's happened to find it, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Okay, we're going to say that the two of you, since you are both favorite customers now of favorite customers of Gwendora, the two of you can find out where this Umziver's stall is, and she will point you in that direction. And so you guys can leave the tavern together. And let's do a roll for Thaldor. You go along a couple of blocks and you find an alley. It's not the same alley where you talked to the gnome, but you find a different alley. And it looks kind of nice and secluded. Go ahead and make me a hide check, because you see a little rain barrel over there, and you notice that one of the barrel staves on the bottom is a little bit loose, and as you work at it a little bit, you see there's kind of a hollow in there. You could stick that garnet down in that hollow and put that back, and it doesn't look like it's disturbed at all. So roll me a hide check. Yeah, or sleight of hand. Yeah, roll a sleight of hand to see how well you.
16.
Okay, all right. That's pretty good. All right, yeah, it looks good to you. You don't think there would be anybody would notice it. The only danger, of course, is if somebody comes along and moves that barrel. But oh well.
And it's somebody else's blessing or curse.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So then you all head off to the stall of this gnome, Umziver the Gadfly. So as you all head up towards him, Krenraid, how would you address this Umziver when you realize you're getting close to a stall? You see all the tack and harness out there and everything, and the little sign Umzivers.
Well, I'm just going to walk up to him and say, "Hey, Umziver, I've heard you're the person to talk to when it comes to tacks and harnesses, and it seems like they were right."
Why, yes, I am. I am the person to see about the tack and harness. I'm Umziver. How can I help you?
Well, we've got some pack mules that we came into town with, and I wanted to know what was your best deal on trying to get those done up.
Oh, well, for a mule, you want the tack and harness. Okay, so, let's see. Whoops.
One of the stirrups fell off the lead mule, and it caused a whole kerfuffle. We lost some of the caravan. It was awful.
Oh, that's really sad. You know, I can tell you I can direct you to a leathersmith if you want to sell the scraps. They might be able to use that. Now, are you looking simply for tack and harness for riding purposes, or you need it um, for pulling a cart, or what? Uh, or is it just simply to hold the cargo onto the mule?
Simply to hold the cargo onto the mule. We've got our own men and women in the cargo line that can do that kind of work if we need them to, but we do need the actual materials, and that's, my friend, where you come in.
Oh, well, I can sell you the new tack and harness for 5 gold pieces per mule. And he points to a little array of them, and he has them in several different earth tone colors. They range from almost a completely black to more of a dark brown, and several different shades in between. And they appear to be leather, like you would see, but you don't know leather is hide from what, but they look to be nice and sturdy.
These are some fine wares, I must say.
Oh,
I gotta ask.
Thank you. Yes.
So we hear gossip as all traders and travelers do. I'm sure you must get plenty of that yourself in your business. You must meet plenty of our folk.
Oh, yes. Plenty of stories around. Plenty of stories. Something just came to my ears a few minutes ago. You are surface folk, and it seems like you're in luck, because over at the tavern tonight, there is a bard from the surface. Funny name, Fallager, something like that.
No, not the Fallager.
Oh, you've heard of him?
He's so famous on the surface. He must have come in with the group that I was with. I didn't even notice him. He is famous beyond compare. You cannot miss it.
Oh, well, I may have to go check that out. And if he's as good as you say, I'll have to buy you around.
We'll buy each other rounds as the night goes on. If it's anything like when I saw Fallager, the drinks kept following until the end of the morning, and we still kept going. The party never truly stopped. It was amazing.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Yes. That reminds me. Parties never stopping. There's something strange going on over at the castle. I'll wager there's something strange going on over there. At Overlake Hold. And he kind of waves you both closer, and he lowers his voice a little bit. He says, "The king. There's something not quite right about the king, and I think it has something to do with that new consort of his, that Shawl."
Shawl?
Yeah, Shawl. She's bad news.
Shawl is a person.
Yes. And he, Mystic Voice of the Universe, will put into Discord.
Mystic Voice of the Universe.
Yeah. So the king's consort is named Shal, Shal. Yeah, there's something strange about her. The king is a widower, lost his wife maybe 100 years ago, and he was in a sad way, and consorts have come and consorts have gone since then, and the king, he never was able to shake the memory of his dearly departed wife. But then 2 months ago, this Shawl shows up, and now
Now the king, he's holding feasts at least 2 nights a week. And he's got people coming in and going out all times of the night. And about the time that she shows up, rumors start that some of the king's guard and some of the keepers of the flame, they're having some trouble. I think it's all due to this shawl. She's bad news, I think.
Having some trouble doing what? What are they guys struggling with?
Oh, they're just disagreements. Disagreements over the way the forges should be run. Now I tell you don't want to get on the wrong side of the wormsmith. Oh, wormsmith, you don't want to be on the business end of him, if you know what I mean.
I think I do. Have you ever been to one of these fantastical gatherings, my friend?
Me, a humble harness merchant? No. I wouldn't get invited to them. But some of my best customers, they've been, and they say that the king has put a tiara on this consort of his that is encrusted with pure diamonds. And her dress,
pure diamonds?
Yes. Yes. A gold tiara with no less than about 150 gems, and at least 30 of them are diamonds, from what I hear.
She's not his wife. She's a consort.
Yeah. Now ain't that kind of peculiar?
Damn, that's crazy. That's absolutely mad.
Yeah. But now, friend, take my advice. Don't breathe a word of this to anybody. You start talking bad about the king, and a lot of people are very loyal to him. I'm loyal to the king myself. I just worry for him.
Oh, your loyalty is never in question. You know, you worrying about someone just shows you care.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to hear you say that. But gosh, I wish somebody could help the king. Now, somebody ought to find out what's going on with that shawl.
I gotta ask, before we came down here at some of the way stations along the way, we were told to stay away from this area, that there was some thing from the abyss skulking and doing daggery things. You haven't heard anything about that, have you?
Ooh, from the abyss. No, I hadn't heard nothing about that. Now what I have noticed more than usual. There's a few more of them, and then he turns and he spits on the ground next to him. A few more of them blasted drow in the city lately. And I tell you, some of them, they look scared. Now, I ask you, what is so bad that it could scare a drow?
That's a good question.
And if the drow are scared, makes me wonder, should the rest of us be scared?
The drow are weird and sly lot, aren't they? They do what they want in the background. It's not a pleasant thing they do. If they're scared of something, then it must be something dark.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud, they worship a damn demon goddess.
I know, right?
Spider goddess. Who does that?
Someone who needs more tax in their head, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see someone with 8 legs. I'm looking for a shoe to smash it. I ain't gonna worship the damn thing. Golly.
Yeah, let's look at other weird people.
Yeah. Yeah, sure is. All right. Well, friend, it is such a pleasure doing business.
Oh, it's the pleasure's been mine. I'll pay for that right now. I will see you at the spot. I'm going to head there right now and get my beer in. I got to save a good spot if Falador's going to be there.
I will look for you. Y'all have a pleasant afternoon.
I see. I'll just grab the closest one. Don't care which one it is. Just walk off of it.
Okay. All right. And he's very happy, and now he feels like he's learned something from you, and good to his name. He's spreading rumors. So, all right.
Was I there with somebody? You said you too. Was I actually there with anyone else?
Oh, well, yeah. Falador did. Falador hid the garnet, and then you were talking to the merchant. So, yeah. So.
I would have. I'm sorry. I would have included him in the conversation if I knew he was there.
Well, I wasn't exactly sure how far Falador went. Whether he was going all the way.
I was watching from a distance.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. You saw basically he was having a good time talking to this gnome, and this gnome was telling him some things like he was imparting a great secret to him. So he was. You all heard this guy was called the Gadfly, and you basically picked up why. Because second he had a willing ear to listen to something, boom, he was starting to tell rumors.
I kind of almost scared the shit out of Crinraid as he's walking back towards the pub. I literally come up behind him, place my hand on his shoulder. It's like, how'd that go?
Oh, you don't do that to a... I could have killed you.
Trust me, I'm too fast for you, brother.
Well, that whiskey you gave me, that might be true. Look, we've got some bad news. We better discuss it with the group.
Oh, did you not get... Oh, you'll get that present later. I got you a present at the bar later.
A present? You got to stop buying me things.
No, it's all good, brother. It's all good. It's on me. It's all good. But you'll see later tonight as the party gets going. I got you something to be delivered to the table.
I'm already indebted to you for freeing me from that prison. I'm indebted to you for a present. I've got to go find some flowers or so.
No.
What do you even like?
I got to take you to dinner first, right? No, it's okay, buddy.
You already have. We just ate.
No, but it's okay. What I mean, don't worry about it. It's nothing. You ask Mulek and Falador. That's just the way I am. But
okay.
As traveling, so you don't owe me anything for that. Now, if you want a loan, that's a different story. But I have
no need for gold. Don't worry.
There you go. But like I said, it's all good. But yeah, as we're walking back, I'm going to ask him to tell me a little bit about that conversation because I was watching from a distance, and I guess we're going back to the bar.
Oh yeah, we got to keep it down low. Keep it quiet. Shh. So the drow are scared of something, which isn't good. It may have something to do with the consort, but I think we should probably discuss it when we have the entire group together. And we should probably discuss it on the down low.
Stealth is my middle name, buddy. We got this.
What's your last name?
That's for me to know if you find out later.
So do I call you Stealth or do I call you Falador? With Foul?
Just Falador. Just call me Falador. It's okay.
You got it, Falador.
Yeah.
Falador Stealth.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, and as you guys get back to the tavern, you notice that the place is starting to comfortably fill up. The Shattered Spire, it's probably 2 hours before dinner, and now about half the tables are full. And there are indeed a few people that come in and they have cases that look like they are instrument cases. and some of them come in with like small wires slung over their back. Others come in and they produce from the folds of a cloak. They produce like uh, uh, pipes or flutes or something, and then they inspect them and then they put them back. And a couple of people have what look like little hand drums with them, and so there are indeed a few musicians here, and it seems like they've started to hear the word. There's going to be this musician from the surface that's playing. And we are going to pull back. We will start next session with you all having an opportunity, if you want to do it in the bar, to talk about the rumors you've heard. We'll go through Fallager's performance and see what comes up, and then see if you all are working the crowd or interacting with locals. You'll see what other rumors come to your ears as you are there, and what you might learn about what's going on in the town. And we'll get through that evening, and then we will see what happens subsequently to that. So that's going to take us to the end of our session, just about. Anything that you guys want to do to take just a couple of minutes? Because I don't want to jump into anything new right now.
I just want to say, if we have any recovering alcoholics on the stream, I'm sorry in advance.
Yes. This was a
Join Team Mulek.
Yeah.
I'm not a recovering alcoholic, but I'm just saying. Okay.
Well, that's before these drow prostitutes are going to get their hands on him later this evening.
Oh yeah, we got to find some merry women. We've got to bribe and men. Get them all involved.
Whatever he's into.
So yeah, it doesn't care.
Coming to Thaldor. Thaldor, do you have a few extra gold? Can we get some friends of the evening for Mulek?
Oh my god!
Sorry, guys.
This could be quite the soiree.
I'll be turning that down too.
All right. Well,
I'll get the
everybody on the stream, thank you for joining us this evening. Players, thank you guys for coming out. It was a fun evening this evening, and welcome to Gracklstugh. This is probably the most cosmopolitan place in the Underdark. It's not the largest city, but the largest cities here tend to be drow cities, and they're extremely xenophobic. I mean, they hate anybody that's not a drow. So this is probably about the best place you can find all of the different races and lots of different things. And maybe you'll have a chance to hear more about the trouble between the Keepers of the Flame and the guards and the Wormsmith, and what's ailing the king, and other sorts of things. So,
one thing very quickly.
Sure.
I'm going to relay everything to Michael's character because he's got that keen mind thing, and Crenray's 100% going to forget because he's a dumbass.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
All right. So consider, Thaldor, that you heard all the details about it. So if you need a refresher, you can ask next week, and Thaldor will have had enough time to digest and memorize those details in terms of what's going on.
What's cool is also know which direction north is at all times.
Yes. So as you work your way around the city, you won't ever get lost.
You're a walking
I remember
compass.
everything I've heard or seen in 30 days.
Yep. And I'm going to try to find between this week and next week, I'm going to try to find a good map of this district of the city, so you guys can sort of see where you are visually in relationship to the rest of the areas.
This is great because for Thalador, I'm literally going to be like the song stuck in his head. He's just going to have nonstop songs that he can't get out of his brain.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure.
And don't let me forget to give you one of my limitless pills next week before you perform.
Oh,
we're going to have to really put on an actual show. Like, we're going to have smoke monsters, we're going to have lights, we're going to have like all sorts of crazy stuff.
I might forget what I was even going to do between now and then.
Well,
Keen Mind.
Yeah, Keen Mind. Basically, the way I plan to do that, and it's up to Ken how much or how little he wants to embellish it. There's going to be a series of performance checks to see how things go when he's playing on his own, and that's going to determine a little bit how much coin not only he makes, but how much coin he draws for the bar. And then if he plays with other musicians, performance checks will help to maybe figure out how much information you guys can get out of those other musicians as they're having conversations with you. And
I'm sure
also
they'll
help.
want to. I'm gone. Sorry.
Yeah, it'll also help with any, if any of you guys are working the crowd and talking to people in the crowd, his good performance checks will help to loosen the tongues of, people once they realize, oh, you're part of the show, or you're with him, you know that guy. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say that all those musicians would love to play with one of the most famous musicians on the surface, I am sure.
Oh yes, and especially if we have some really good performance roles, they're really gonna want to play with that guy.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm not famous at all, but I'm totally playing.
You are now.
What was the?
I had everything I wanted to say and everything. I like how the ambiance and the performance is going to be and everything. I know I'm going to forget by next week. It sucks.
Jot down a couple of notes for yourself and leave them by the computer, and then when you get back to it next week. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. All right. Well, talk to you guys next week. Before we sign off, Paul, is there? I know that you're involved in several other games that are streaming games. Is there any of them in particular that you would like to share with the folks that are either watching tonight or that will find the stream later in the week? In particular.
Well, before I answer that, I'm going to ask, do you have any games on the Wednesday, Gally? Because I know you have a game on the same time I have another game Sunday, so I'm not going to mention that one. But
no, I do not. I do not have a game on Wednesday.
Okay, so I will mention I had a really great time playing with the Action Surge. It's on Wednesdays at 1 a.m. GMT, so I think that's about 7 CST. And they do dungeon crawls where the group and the chat can give magic items to the party, or they can make it harder by spawning in enemies and things like that. It was a complete mess, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. So I will mention that. That was great fun. Otherwise, tune in to Gally's next stream because this guy's awesome.
Well, thank you. Yes, next stream is going to be Saturday night. It's our Lost Mine of original D&D. We are telling the story of Lost Mine of Phandelver through the lens of the original D&D rule set. So that's the rule set with D6 initiatives, where armor class works backwards. The lower the armor class, the better. All of that kind of stuff. And then Sunday afternoon, Ken will be back 2 p.m. Eastern time when we do the Walker of Waterdeep. This is a Planeswalking 5e campaign where we are in the plane of Kamigawa, and it sounds like the party has some really interesting things they are going to be talking about on Sunday. So I may wind up having a session where I don't have to do a whole lot of talking on Sunday, which would be great. And the players may have a lot of stuff that they want to do on Sunday. And then Monday night, we're back here for the for Monster Monday. It's my single mic show every week that we do where we profile a specific monster out of D&D. And then next Thursday will be next edition of Sword Coast Chronicles. You can find on my YouTube channel archives of everything. I'm gradually getting more caught up. I'm caught up to everything through November now, and working on catching up, hopefully by the time we meet again, everything through December, and then maybe within a couple of weeks, everything through up to present on all 3 of the streams. And 7 days a week, I have short form videos up on my YouTube channel about different aspects of D&D. So if you want to know the history of certain spells or certain monsters or certain feats or whatever, you can find all of that on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys very much. Talk to you all next week. Stream, take care, and good night.